Hi, this is Isabelle Litzler, Pleiade HC, the place to be to develop your skills and grow your potential. So today I want you to imagine that you're a Swiss recruiter, and how would you look at resumes and what kind of things would you be looking at? I think putting yourself in the shoes of the other person is always helpful when you want to understand what the other person thinks and how to prepare yourself basically for the selection, the resume or the application selection. So I want to give you 5 tips today on how to be in the shoes of the recruiter. So the first thing is really to match your resume wording with the job description wording. So if you find a job description where there are certain keywords there, especially the technical ones, you want to make sure that they're included in your resume. You can check quickly just to make sure. I will give you a tool that I will post below where you can do this check, automatically. And the more words you have in common, the more chances you have to be picked, especially if it's done via an automatic type of selection, at least at the first stage. So really increase your chances by matching words. That's the first very simple thing. The second tip is really to look at consistency. This is something that a lot of candidates, in my view, are not doing enough of. So they list their experiences and it's a little bit everywhere and it's hard for a recruiter to understand your resume. So when you review it, look at it from the eyes of a recruiter. What kind of consistency do you have? Have you done many jobs, or have you done the similar type of function, the similar type of education? So try to bring something that flows together. So when you list your experiences and your education and all the different things, basically just make sure that it's clear, that it's understandable by the recruiter, and they can easily grasp, what it is that you do and what you could do for a company. And if it's a headhunter, what could you do for their clients? So really the first half of the first page, I should know everything important about you. So if you speak languages, if you have technical skills, your career goal, your skills are very important in Switzerland, it should be listed on the first part of the resume. So I don't want to have to look on page 3 or page 4 or God knows, it should be at the very beginning. So remember that when you write your resume, make it very clear from the beginning. Tip number 4 is make sure that your resume is a story. So if you have experiences that are a little bit from long ago, it's not going to be relevant. So the last 2 experiences should be the most relevant for your job. So if you're looking for a job, let's say as a marketing analyst, and all your jobs are about finance, and you want to show that you're marketing qualified, then maybe you've done a master's, and that should be at the very beginning of the resume. Maybe you've done an internship, same thing, put it at the beginning. So the last 2 things you've done, whether it's education, internship, work, they should be relevant to your project. So in other words, if today I want to go into marketing, and my last 2 experiences are in HR, for example, I have a problem. I should probably do something else to plug, there, so that I'm credible for marketing. So same thing if you're in finance and you want to go into marketing. So think about that. Think about how credible you are for the type of positions that you're applying for. Make sure that it makes sense. So that's my 4th tip. And my last tip is really to Swissize your resume. So you're going to say, what does that mean? So it means that you need to cater to the local market. So in other words, if you have an international experience and you apply for a local company in Switzerland, make sure that maybe you've taken local language courses, that you understand the needs of the organization. That's very important. The needs of a company in Switzerland are different than a company in the US or in the UK. So there's the local market to take into account. And I think that's where most candidates could bring value in terms of their knowledge of the market. So I know when I was a functional HR person for many years, my brain was all about HR, and the database and the candidates and the resumes and so forth. And I was a specialist basically. And from the time I became an entrepreneur and a freelancer, I started thinking differently. My brain started to look at things from a more global perspective. Now I'm thinking a little bit more in terms of market and needs and basically the supply and demand, things that I wasn't really thinking about before. So really think about it like you are an entrepreneur when you apply for a job. So this company is based, let's say, in Lausanne. So what are their needs for this company? What kind of clients are they catering to? And how is this job helping reach their objectives? And if you have this mindset when you apply, your resume will be probably selected, especially if you put that in your cover letter. So make sure that you understand the local Swiss market where you apply, what the company needs, you know, what you could bring in terms of value. So maybe you understand, you know, a little bit how the supply chain works locally, or if it's in marketing, maybe you understand how to target their clients. So of course, that's why a lot of expats aren't successful in their applications, because someone who's been living and working in the country for a long time would probably, I'm saying probably, because it's not 100%, but probably know the market a little bit more. So that's where you know you have a gap to fill, is your knowledge of the market. So you need to work 110% to really get into the groups, you know, go and volunteer if you're not working, really understand what this market needs and how you can bring your own value, even if you come from abroad, you know, where you can pull your sleeves up and say, where can I help to get you more value? So this is my last tip, you know, think like a recruiter. If you have some questions, post them below, and I'll talk to you soon.